Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu
Nityananda Shri
Advaita Gadadhara
Advaita
Srivasadi
Srivasadi
Gaur Bhakta
Gaur Bhaktarinda.
Oh Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna
Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara
Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama
Rama
Rama Rama
Mara
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Hare
Rama
Hare.
Hare
Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Rama,
Bolo Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Jaya
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Jai
Hare.
Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo.
Jai Guru Haribo, Haribo,
Haribol,
Haribo, Nitai Gaura
Haribol,
Haribo.
Jai
Haribol.
Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo.
Nitai Gaura
Oh,
Haribo, Haribo,
Haribol,
Haribo,
Nitai
Nitai
Bol,
Gaura Haribo.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev.
Jaya
Jaya
Gurudev,
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 Gurudev, Jaya
Gurudev,
Jaya Gurudev.
Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev,
Gurudev,
Gurudev, Jaya
Gurudev,
Jaya
Jaya Jaya
Gurudev.
Gurudev.
Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev ki jai.
Jai,
Jai Giri Govardhana ki jai.
Jai,
Jai Mayapur Dham Navadvip Dham Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Jai
Jai,
Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai ki jai. Jai
Jai,
Jai,
Srimati Tulsi Devi ki jai.
Jai,
Jai,
Jai Harinam Charya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai.
Jai,
Jai,
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. Jai
Jai,
Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute ki jai. Jai
Jai,
Bhakti Vedanta Institute ki jai.
Jai,
Jai Scientific Sankirtan Yoga ki jai. Jai
Jai,
Jai,
Sankirtan Yoga ki jai.
Jai,
Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All
Hare
glories
Krishna,
to the worldwide devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Jai,
Prams to go Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadara, Shri Vasudhi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Jai,
Go Premanandi, Hari
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 Hari,
Hari.
Jai, Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Jai, all the devotees ki jai.
Jai.
And what happened? Rasaraj is where? Oh, oh. So now we have Kusham and Rasaraj both. Okay. Who's that picture?
Dandavats Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Dandavats.
Braj-
You look
It's
very,
Brajgopal Maharaj.
yes, you look like a saintly devotee. Hare Krishna. All right. So now we're going to chant Vandanam in the Pocket Kirtan Guide, page 38. 38, Vandanam. All right. Does everyone have a kirtan guide? Okay, page 38. Vandeham Shri Guru
Guru
Shri Yuta Padakamalam
Padakamalam
Shri Gurun
Gurun
Vaishnavamscha
Vaishnavascha
Shri
Sri
Sripad
Rupam Sagrajatam
Sagrajatam
Sahagana Lalita Tanvitam
Sadhanam
Tam Sajivam
Sajivam
Sadvaitam
Advaitam
Sadvadutam
Savadutam
Parijana
Parijana
Sahitam
Sahitam
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya Deva
Devam
Shri
Shri
Radha
Radha Krishna
Krishna Padam
Padan
Sagana Lalita
Sahaganalita
Shri Vishakhanvitam
Vishakhanvitamscha
Om Agyanati Mirandasya
Jnanatimirandasya
Jnana
Jnananjana
Salakaya
Janakaya
Chakshurmilitam
Chakshurunmilitam
Chakshurmilitam
Yena
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 Tasmai
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 Sri
Shri
Gurave
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 Namaha
Namaha
Namaha Pujya
Pujya Sri Guru Varga
Pandita
Pandita
Mahabhavanitaya Sada
Mahabhavanitaya
Purvabhaya
Varya
Parampara
Parampara
Prachalita
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 Pragya Pamurta
Pramurta
Krite
Kriti
Kriti
Bhaktir
Bhakti
Nirmala
Nirmala
Nirjarhasya
Nirjarhasa
Nivritam
Nivritam
Samrakshakam Sadaram
Sadaram
Vande Shri Guru
Shri
Devam
Guru
Devam
Ananta
Ananta
Shira Acharya Param
Param
Jam Korva Bhista Sapurakam
Vistasapurakam
Guru
Guru
Ganaya Shisha
Ganaya
Sambhusitam
Sambhositam
Chintya Chintya
Chintya
Samasta
Samasta
Samastave
Veda
Vedam
Nipunam
Nipunam Srirupa
Vapatananugam
Govinda
Govindamidam
Vidam Ujjam
Avijam Bharatanum
Vratanam
Bhaktyanvitam
Bhaktyanvitam
Sundaram
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 Vande
Vande
Vishwagurun
Vishwagurun
Shadidya
Sadibhya
Bhagavat
Bhagavad
Premno
Premnohi
Himija
Pradam
Pradam
Devam Divyatanam Suchandavadanam
Vadanam
Aparkachelanchitam
Balarchitam
Sandrananda Param
Sandranandabram
Sadikavarnam
Savarnam
Vairagya Vidya
Vidyam
Buddhi
Buddhim
Sri
Shri
Siddhanta
Siddhanta
Nidhi
Nidhi
Antanidhi
Bhaktilasitam
Savadilasitam
Saraswatanam Param
Sarasvatanambaram Vandetam
Vanditam
Supadam
Padam
Madekam
Madekasaranam
Sanyasisharam
Sridharam
Sridharam
Sri Siddhanta Saraswati
Girito
Vidito Gaudiya
Guriya
Gaurvai
Gurvare
Bhato
Bhatu Hanuriva Bhavani
Gora
Tane
Sankirtanai Mayavada
Mayavada
Timingilo
Timingila
Daladitha Uditi
Udichinna
Krishna Prema Sudha Vigana Sukha
Gahana Sukha
Prabhutam
Prabhu
Bhaje
Bhaje
Namo
Namo
Gorkishvaraya
Gaurkisaraya
Bhaktavaduta
Bhaktavaduta
Murtaye
Murtaye
Gauranga
Gaurangi
Padmaprimaya
Padmaprimaya
Radha Baba
Radhabhava
Nisevane
Nisevane
Vande Bhakti
Vande Bhakti
Vinodam
Vinodam
Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam
Swarupakam
Bhakti
Bhakti
Shasakya Samradham
Samradham
Radharasa
Radharasa
Sudhanidhim
Sudhanidhim
Gaura Bhaja
Gaurabraja
Srivasai Shaya
Vaishnavir
Vaishnavam
Bande Vigraham
Vigraham
Jagannath
Jagannath
Prabhum
Prabhum
Bande
Bande
Devam
Premam Devureda
Devamshya
Vaishnavam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Vachakalpatarubhyascha
Kripa
Sindhubhaya
Sindhubhyevacha
Cha
Patitanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
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 Namo
Namo
Namaha
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 Panchatatmakam Krishna
Krishnam
Sarupakam Bhaktavataram
Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Mama
Nami
Bhakti
Bhakti
Shatikam
Shaktikam
Namo
Namo
Mahavadanyaya
Mahavadanyaya Krishna
Krishna Prema Pradayate
Krishna
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 Chaitanya
Chaitanya Namah
Namne
Namne
Gaurase
Gaurase Namaha
Jayatam
Jayatam Shrato Pangaur Mama Manda Mate
Gati
Sarvasya
Sarvasva
Padmo
Padamam
Radha
Radha
Madhava
Madan
Namo
Mohana
Vidyat
Divya
Vindaranya Kalpadravada
Kalpadravada
Nado
Srimad
Srimad
Radharani
Radharani
Sinasto
Sri Gandharva Sila
Gandharva
Govinda
Devi
Devo
Presale
Prasale
Sevimanam
Sevimanam
Smarami
Marami
Sriman Rasa Rasamrami
Vibangsi Bhatta Tata Sthita
Sivata Tata Stita Karshan
Darshan
Venu
Venu
Sari
Sanay Gopi
Gopinatha
Gopinatha
Shrestuna
Suna
Vrindaya
Vrinjaya
Tusidevai
Jai
Vijay
Priyai
Kesavacha Krishna
Krishna Bhakti
Bhakti
Pratade
Devi Satya Bhakti Devi Namo
Pradayate
Namaha
Namaha
Atho
Atanatva Mantra
Mantra
Gurun
Guru
Gurun Bhagavatarthadan
Bhagavatam
Vyasan Jagat Karun Natva Tapayam Mudiraye Jai Saparika Shri Shri Guru Gadar Govinda Sundar Ara Padmanam Jayastu
Yastu
Shri
Jayo
Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhar
Gadadhar
Srivasadi
Sivasadi
Asani
Gaur
Gaur
Gaura
Bhaktavrinda
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Ki Jai.
Jai
Jai Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Go
Jai
Premanandi.
Hari
Hare
Hari
Hare Bo.
Can I have that water? Thank you. All right, page 105. Thank you. Page 105. Madhujivana Sarapapirata Nahi Kapunyera Lesha
Amara Jivana
Madhivana Sadha
Sadapapirata
Paperata Nahika Punyaralesha
Desha
Harera Udvega Diachi Ekata Diachi Jivera Klesha
Harera
Harero
Udvekti
Diyachi Kata
Ekata
Diyachi Jivero
Jivera
Klesha
Klesha
Nija Sukha Lagi Pape Nahi Dari Daya Hina Swarta Para
Ija
Kalagi
Sukalagi
Pape
Nahi
Nahi
Dari Dayahina
Dayahino
Swartapara
Sartapara
Para Sukhe Duke Sada Mitya Basi Para Duka Sukha
Para Sukhe Duki Sada Mitya Bhasi
Para
Para
Duka
Sukha
Asesha Kamana Riddhi Mahi Mora Krodi Damba Parayana
Atesha Kamana Nidhi Madhe Mora Roti Damba Parayana
Madhamatha Sada Vishaye Mohita Ningsa Garbha Vibhushana
Madhava
Madhamasada
Sada
Vishay
Vishaya
Mohita
Mohita
Nityagarbha
Sagarva Vibhushana
Anidralasya Hatta Sukarye Virata Akarye Udyogi Ami
Nidalakya ade
Kaje
virat
virat
ade
Kaduriyami
Pratishta lagiya satya charana loba hata sarakami.
Pratishta lagiya satya
Lobato Sadakami
Ehena dojanna sajanna vajita aparadi nirantara.
Ehena durjana sajana vajita paradi nirantara.
Subhakarya shunya sadhanartha mana nana dukhe jara jara.
Subhakarya
Lokarya
sunna
Sadhanatma
sadhanatma
Nana
nana
dukhe
Ke
dukhe
jara
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 Vada ke kanna upaya vihina tate dina akinchana.
Vardhake
Kana upaya vihina
upayavihina
tate
Dinaya
dina
Kinchana
Vakati vinora prabhuda charane kare dukani vedana.
Bhakti
Bhakti
Vinoda
Vinoda
Prabhuda
Charane
Charane
Kare
Kare
Duka
Dukani
Nivedana
Om
Vedana.
Amara Jivana Sadapa Pirata Nahika Punyera Lehisha.
Amara Jivana
Jivana Sada
Sadapa Pera
Papirat
Nahi
Naika
Kapune
Putne Lesha
Parera Urvega Diachi Ekata Diachi Jivera Klesha.
Parera
Parera
Ude
Diyachi
Diyachi Ekata
Diyachi
Diachi
Diyachi
Jivera
Veda.
Klesha.
This is a song of purification of the mind, the heart. That my life is always engaged in sin, engrossed in sin. There's not a trace of piety within it. I have caused others so much anxiety and trouble. Without Krishna consciousness, that is the situation of everyone in this world. They may think they're doing good, but the fact is, they're doing great harm to themselves and others. Hare Krishna. All right. And where's Yasamati Nandan? What page is that?
It's 14, 16.
16. Page 16? You know that one? Radha Krishna Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj.
Can you sing it?
Yes, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, it's not 16 in my book.
Yeah,
In my book,
17.
it's 17.
16. 16 at the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes. Okay. Jasamati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana
Samati Nandana Prabhara Nagara Gokula Ranjana
Kana
Gopi Parana Dhana Madana Manahara
Gopi Parana Dana Madana Manohara
Aliya Damana Vidhana
Aliya Damana
Vidhana
Vidhana.
Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa
Amala
Amala
Harinam
Harinam
Amya
Amya
Vilasa.
Vilasa
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Vara Vangsivadana Subhasa Brajajana Palana Asurkula Nasana
Brajajana Palana Surakula
Nandagadhana Rakhoyala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara
Govinda
Sundara Nanda Gopala
Sundarananda Gopala
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara
Rasika Kripa Maya
Rasika Kripa
Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara
Sri Radha
Bhakti Vinodaya Saya Sumati Nandana Brajavara Nagara
Yashomati
Nandana
Nandana
Kula Ranjana Kana
Hi, Haribo. Thank you very much, Prabhu. And Muni Maharaj.
Yeah, Dandot Maharaj.
Maharaj, can you sing on page 29? Gurudev.
গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এই দাসে তৃণাপেক্ষা অতি দীন
Gurudev
Kripa diya kare
Koroe
Dase Napekayati Dina
সকল সহনে বল দিয়া করো নিজ মানে স্পৃহাহীন
Sakala
Sahane
diya kara
Nijamane Priyahina
সকলে সম্মান করিতে শকতি দেহনাথ যথাযথ
Sakale
Saman
Korite Shakti
তবে তো গাইব হরিনাম সুখে অপরাধ হবে হত
Tabe Takai Harinama Sukhe Radha
কবে হেন কৃপা লোভিয়ায় জন কৃতার্থ হইবে নাথ
Kabe Hena Kripa
Lohiyaye Jan
Tate
শক্তি বুদ্ধিহীন আমি অতি দিন কর্মরে আত্মসাধ
Shakti Buddhi Amiyati Karmore
যোগ্যতা বিচারে কিছু নাহি পাই তোমারও করুণা সার
jata
vicare
vicare
rahi pai tomara
karuna sara
করুণা না হইলে কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া প্রাণ না রাখিব আর
karuna
করুণা হইলে কান্দিয়া
kandiya
কান্দিয়া
kandiya
না রাখিব আর
জয় গুরুদেবা জয় গুরুদেবা জয় গুরুদেবা জয় গুরুদেবা
জয় গুরু
Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva,
জয়
Gurudeva.
জয় গুরুদেবা জয় গুরুদেবা জয় গুরুদেবা জয় গুরুদেবা
Jaya
গুরু
Deva,
জয়
Jaya
গুরুদেবা
Gurudeva,
জয় গুরুদেবা জয় গুরুদেবা
Jai Muni Maharaj ki jai.
জয়
And Zana,
Yeah,
can you say the English?
read the English.
Read the English.
Okay.
You can
Oh,
sing
good.
it if you can. I don't know. No,
Now,
you
can
can.
you hear me well? I have no idea if
Yes, we can hear you.
speaker or that speaker. Okay. Oh Gurudev, give this servant a drop of your mercy and make me more humble than a blade of grass. Give me the strength to tolerate everything and make me free from any desire for personal honor. Oh Master, give me the ability to befittingly honor everyone. Then I will sing the Lord's name happily and all my offenses will be eradicated. When will this soul attain such mercy and when will this soul attain such mercy and become fulfilled? O Master, I'm devoid of ability and intelligence and greatly disabled. Please accept me. When I examine myself for purification, I find none. Your mercy is everywhere. If you are not merciful to me, then crying I will no longer maintain my life.
Jai Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Page 45. And let's see. You can't hear Rasaraj Prabhu because he's on Skype. But so Shanta Maharaj
Yeah, we hear you, Prabhu, but the rest of the devotees
won't hear. Yeah, they won't hear.
on Zoom won't hear you because we have a microphone plugged in.
Okay.
Put your cell phone close to the
So Shanta Maharaj, you
Yes.
kindly sing.
Is Samsara Davanal Maharaj?
Yes, Maharaj, is it okay?
Is the camera
Okay,
angle
Maharaj.
better now? You can see Maharaj.
Samsara Davanal Nidaloka Pranaya Karunya Gana
Here?
Ganatam
Sarada.
Hear everyone? Nidaloka, Tranaya.
Naganaganatam.
Raptasya Kalana Gunanabhasa
Yakayanaganavasya.
Nande Guradri Karanarabindam
Guru Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam.
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
बादित्य मार्जन मनसरसेन
Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita
Aditya
Vaditya
Gita
Manasarasena
Manasarasena
रोमांचकं पश्रुतरंग भाजो
रोमांचकं पश्रुतरङ्गभाजो
वंदे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम्
Vande Guru
Guru Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanaravinam
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri Charanaravinam
Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Actually, Maharaj, when we say Bandho Guru Charanarvindam,
Charanarvindam.
Maharaj, when we say Bande Guru Sri Charanarvindam, at that time we repeat 2 times actually.
Yes.
CB.
But you sing the 2 lines, Romancha Kampa, and then Vande Garoshi in one.
Yeah, one at a time, Maharaj.
One
last two lines we sing one, then we see Bande Guru Charanarvindam, then repeat 2 times.
All right, everyone can follow that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says there in the bracket too.
Oh, that's the verse number.
Sibigrahara Dhananitya Nana Ingarakan Mandiramajanado
Sibigrahara Dhananitya Nana Ingarakan Mandiramajanado
Yuktasya Bhaktasya Niyundatopi
Yuktasya Bhaktam
Sanjunjatopi
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri
Charanarvindam.
Maharaj, I think it's a little confusing. We're not used to singing it that way. If you can kindly sing 2 lines at a time.
Okay, Maharaj.
Okay, and that's all.
Chaturvidhasi Bhagavat Prasada Swadana Triptana Haribhakta Sangha
Chaturvidhasi
Bhagavat Prasada
Swadana Triptana Haribhakta Sangha
Vitvaiva Triptim Bhagavat Deva Bhande Charanarvindam
Ritvaiva Triptim
Bhajata Sadaiva
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Iradhikama Davayorapara Madhurjalila Gunarupanam
Shri
Radhikama
Davayorapara
Madhurjalila Gunarupanam
Ikshana Swadana Lolupasya Bande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Bhakti Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru
Ikunja yono ratikeli sidai jajali birti apekaniya
Kunjayo
Ratikeli Siddhai
Ataradi daksha dati vallabhacha Bande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Tatra didasya vallabhasya
Vallabhasya
Vande Guru
Vande Guru Sri
Charanarvindam
साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भावत एव तद्भिः
Sakshadharivena samastasatre
Namaste
उक्तस्तथा
Yuktasthatha
भावेव
Vade
तद्भिः
किन्तु प्रभुर्या प्रियै भक्तस्य वन्दे गुराश्री चरणारविन्दम्
Kintu
किन्तु
Prabhu
प्रभुर्या प्रियदेवतस्य
Vande Guru
गुरुश्री
Sri
चरणारविन्दाम्
यस्य प्रसाद भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसाद नगति कुतोऽपि
Yasya
यस्य
Prasada
प्रसादा
Bhagavad
भगवत्प्रसादा
Prasada Yasya
Yasya
गुरुप्रसादा
Prasada
नगति
Prasada
Nagati
कृतोऽपि
आं तस्य यशस्त्रीकान्दा वन्दे गुराश्री चरणारविन्दम्
Dhyayam Subham Stasyaya Sastri
शान्त्यान्
Sangya
वन्दे
Vande
गुरो
Guru
श्रीचरणारविन्दाम्
श्रीमद्गुरुराष्टकमेतदूते ब्राह्मे मुहूर्ते पठति प्रयत्न
Srimad Guru Maharaj
गुरुराष्टकमेतदुच्चे त्वमे
Me murte
मुहूर्ते पठति
patate
प्रयत्नः
prayatna
दशेन वृन्दावननथ साच देवैव लाभ्य जनसन्त एव
Yastena
तेन
Tena
वृन्दावननाथ
vrindavanatha
कैवलाभ्य जनसंसदेव
वन्दे गुराश्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुराश्रीचरणरविन्दम्
Oh Vande Guru Sri Charanaravinda
श्रीचरणरविन्दां
Vande
श्रीचरणरविन्दां
गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru
गुरुदेवा
Deva Jaya
जय
Guru
गुरुदेवा
Deva
गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
Om Jaya
जय
Guru Deva
गुरुदेवा
Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru
गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
Jai Bhakti Nishkam Santa Maharaj ki Jai.
की जय
जय श्री
And
सतगुरु महाराज
let's see.
सुनছি সবাই
Now, who knows this one on page 48? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jiva Daya Kori.
I know it, Maharaj.
Huh? You know it? Who said that?
I know it, Maharaj.
All right, do you like to sing that, Radha Krishna?
Sure, Maharaj. Thank you. I don't know if you'll know this tune, but it's pretty simple.
Okay.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Daya Kori. Sri Krishna
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jiva Daya Kori.
Aparsha Siya Dham Sahoy Avatori.
Saparshada Shiva Daya
Ottanto Durlabha Prem Kori Bare Dan.
Anchanta Doraba Prem Kori Baridan. We're on page 48.
Sharanagati Bhakotero Pran.
Sikaye Sharnaragati Bhaktirara Pran.
Doino Atma Nivedan Goptrite Varan.
Donya Atma Nivedan Gotre Varan.
Avasya Rakhive Krishna Vishasa Palon.
Avasya Rakshite Krishna Vasapalan.
ভক্তি অনুকূল মাত্র কার্যের শিকার
Bhakti Anukula Matra Karjera
ভক্তি প্রতিকূল ভাব বর্জন অঙ্গীকার
Bhakti Pratipula Bhajanangikar
সরঙ্গ শরণাগতি হইবে যাহার
Saranga Saranagati
তাহার প্রার্থনা শুনে শ্রীনন্দ কুমার রূপ সনাতন পদে দন্তে তৃণ করি বিনোদ পদে দুই পদ ধরি কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো অধম
Kandiya Bali
শিখায় শরণাগতি কর হে উত্তম
Sikai Saranagati Karahe
শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু জীবে দয়া করি
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
সপর্শীয় ধাম সহ অবতরী হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
রাম 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 হরে হরে
Oh Hare Ram Hare Hare
গীতায় গৌর প্রেমানন্দে হরি হরি
Jai Hari Bol. So Ajay Prabhu, would you like to read the English? Oh.
Sounds funny.
I was thinking, like, what kind of a monster is joining us?
Metallic reptar dinosaur noise came out of his machine.
Will your voice work?
Muted. His voice is muted.
What happened to your microphone? Not working.
It's my exciting.
All right. Teresa, can you read it? Would you like to read the English? Teresa?
Page 48.
Page 48, yes.
Okay. Being merciful to the souls, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descends with his associates and abode. To distribute the most rare form of divine love, he teaches surrender, which is the life of the devotees. Humility, self-submission, embracing the Lord's guardianship, maintaining the faith that Krishna will certainly protect me. Engaging only in activities that are favorable to devotion, rejecting everything unfavorable to devotion. Sri Krishna hears the prayers of one who surrenders in this sixfold way. Bhakti Vinod places a straw between his teeth and falls before Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu and Srila Sanatan Goswami Prabhu clasping their feet. Crying and crying, he prays, I am so lowly. Please elevate me by teaching me surrender.
Jai. Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. So many beautiful songs.
Let's hear Ajay again.
Huh?
Let's hear Ajay again.
Ajay, I don't know what's going on with him. Okay. And just as long as he doesn't talk, no problem. And Santa Maharaj,
Yes, Maharaj.
our good singer.
I am.
Yeah,
Just,
both
you know,
you
I'm-
and Munima is very nice. Yeah, Zana likes your singing.
I just, you know, followed the devotees in Navadip Maharaj, you know,
Uh-huh.
they sing.
So you know this one, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Koramore, page
What
55,
page?
bottom of page 55. Sri Krishna
55.
Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Koramore.
55, no, Maharaj?
Yes,
Yes.
at the bottom page.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj. Do you want me to sing that, Maharaj?
Maharaj, if you could, we would be very, very honored, very happy.
Okay, Maharaj. The last Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More, that one, no, Maharaj?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, Maharaj. Just Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
No, that's the wrong one.
Dakar More.
Oh, Maharaj, first we sing that Panchatattva, Maharaj, to begin this song.
All right, go ahead.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu,
Prabhu Nityananda.
Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara
Shivasari
Gaura
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Koramore.
Toma bina ke dayalu jagat majhare.
Toma Vina Ke Dayalu Jagata Majare.
Patita pavana hetu avatar.
Patita
Pavana
Pavana
Hetu
Tava
Avatar.
Mosama patita prabhu na paibe aro.
Mosama Pavita Prabhu Napai Ara.
Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi.
Ha ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi.
Kripa bolo kala karo mami bada dukhi.
Kripa
Bala Kana Karo
Ami Bada
Baroduki.
Daya karo Sitapati Advaita Gosai.
Daya Kara Sitapati Advaita Gosani.
Tava कृपा बोले पाई चैतन्य निताई
तब कृपा पाई चैतन्य निताई
गौर प्रेममय तनु पंडित गदाधर
गौर प्रेममय तनु पंडित गदाधर
श्रीनिवास हरिदास दयार सागर
श्रीनिवास हरिदास दयार सागर
स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ
स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ
भट्ट जुग श्री प्रभु लोकनाथ
भट्ट युग श्री प्रभु लोकनाथ
दया कर सियाचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास
प्रभु श्रीनिवास
रामचंद्र संग मांगे नरोत्तम दास
रामचंद्र संगे मागे नरोत्तम दास
दया कर प्रभु पाद श्री गौर प्रकाश
दया करो प्रभु पाद गौर प्रकाश
भव जन कृपा मांगे हे अधम दास
तब जन कृपा मागे हे अधम दास
दया कर प्रभु पाद श्री गौर प्रकाश
दया करो प्रभुपाद श्री गौर प्रकाश
भव जन कृपा मांगे अधम दास
तब जन कृपा मागे अधम दास
जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद
जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद
जय प्रभुपद
जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद
Hi, Prabhupada. All right. And one more. Let's see.
Here Prabhupada refers to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada.
Yes. And all right, now, Moni Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj, Dandavat.
Can we ask you to sing one more on page 65?
65. Okay.
Nitai Pada Kamala.
Okay, Maharaj. Nitai Pada Kamala. I'm not in good tune.
You don't know this one?
I know.
Nitai Pada Kamala Koti
Okay,
Chandra Sushitala Ye Chayaya Jagata Judaya.
Got the tune, Maharaj.
You know that melody?
Yeah. Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala
Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala
যে ছায়ায় জগত জুড়ায়
Ye Chayaya Jagata Judaya
হেন নিতাই বিনে ভাই রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাইতে নাই
Hey Nani Kai Vine
ভাই রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাইতে নাই
দৃঢ় করি ধর নিতাই পাই
Dida Kori
ধরণী
সে সম্বন্ধ নাহি যারো বৃথা জন্ম গেল তারো
Se Sambandha
নাহি
বৃথা জন্ম
জন্ম
গেল
গেল
সেই পশু বড় দুরাচার
সেই পশু বড়
দুরাচার
নিতাই না বলিল মুখে মজিল সংসার সুখে
Nitai na bali namuke Majila samsara sukhe
বিদ্যাকুলে কি করিবে তারো
Avidyakulle
কি করিবে তার
অহংকারে মত হইয়া নিতাই পদ পাশরিয়া
Ahankara mata
হইয়া
নিতাই পদ পাচরিয়া
অসত্যেরে সত্য করি মানি
অসত্যে সত্য করি মানি
নিতাইর করুণা হবে ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে
Nitai
করুণা হবে ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে
ধর নিতাইর চরণ দুখানি
Indara
নিতাইর চরণ সত্য তাহার সেবক নিত্য
Nitai Satya
তাহার সেবক
নিতাই পদ সদা কর আশো
নিতাই পদ সদা করো
নরোত্তম বড় দুঃখী নিতাই মোরে করো সুখী
নরতম বড়
নিতাই মোরে সুখী
রাখো রঙ্গা চরণের পাশ দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই
দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই
দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই
Jaya Nita
দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই দয়াল নিতাই
Jai Nitai ki jai.
জয়
Jai Gaur Haribo.
জয়
Can you put your headset on and read? All right.
Dandavats. Okay. Cooling like 10 million moons, Nitai's lotus feet soothe the world with their shade. Oh brother, without Nitai, you cannot reach Radha Krishna. Firmly grasp Nitai's feet. The life of one who had no connection with Nitai passed in vain. Such an animal is very wicked. What will learning, aristocratic birth, do for one who was immersed in worldly pleasures and never called aloud Nitai. Maddened with pride, forgetting Nitai's feet, I accept the untruth as truth. When Nitai bestows his mercy, you will reach Radha Krishna in Vraja. Grasp Nitai's feet. Nitai's feet are truth, and his servants are eternal. Always aspire for Nitai's feet. Narottam is very sad. O Nitai, make me happy. Keep me beside your reddish feet. Jai Srila Narottam Das Thakur Ki Jai.
Okay, the songs we could just read all day. I could read it all day, these songs, and sing. But let's, a little bit of a late start today. Some difficulties. I don't know what we'll do next time. Just do Zoom. But then Rasaraj and Kusum have some difficulty joining with the others.
So then the third option is Microsoft Teams. We can try that.
I heard Facebook also has now some group meeting.
But I wouldn't think that's secure. Facebook is not.
No, Facebook requires Android, Maharaj.
Huh?
It requires Android.
It does not apply on all systems.
Oh.
Microsoft is the only other option, I think.
Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
Do they allow recording?
We may test it, Maharaj, before we try it in next time.
Okay.
We are using Maharaj in office. We can
Yes.
record.
And they can record it? Can you?
Yes. But we cannot see all the people.
You cannot see everyone.
Only we can see 4 members or 5 members on the screen.
Only he said 4 people can be seen.
Well,
Because if there's something that's not so well known, but I don't.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Maximum 9 people we can see in the 9 by square, 9 by like.
well, why don't we try the Google thing again and see how it'll go? Because, like, for instance, today, Ajay had the problem. He didn't have it the other day, right? I mean, on Meet, on Zoom.
That is.
Ajay, last time he didn't have any problem with the sound. Today he has a problem. So on Google, at least we can see, we were able to see everybody. And we
What is the problem with the Skype?
That's another alternative.
I don't know how many people we can see on Skype.
Oh, only 4 people can be seen on Skype.
I don't know.
Skype only 9 people, 9 or 10. That's all.
That is enough. No, we are not getting more people. More than 10 we are not getting.
You can see 9 or 10 people on Skype?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
I haven't tried it. Have you tried?
Yes, Maharaj. It is
We
possible.
can try Skype.
So with Zoom, you can see 25 people on one screen. I think the problem is with their connection.
Well, the problem is the security. Both Rasaraj and Kusum have on their computer some connection with their work. And their companies don't want them to use an insecure connection, you see? That's the problem.
That's why I said, like, why don't we try again with the Google thing and see how it will go next time? Just to log in a little bit earlier, maybe 10 minutes before 1 o'clock or 5 minutes before 1 o'clock.
There's another app, Prabhuji, Namaste, same as Zoom. They told it's same as Zoom, in Indian app, Namaste.
Really?
Yeah. So I never tried it, but I just came to know in the WhatsApp, one of my friends told me, like, we can use Namaste. It's just like a Zoom, just like Zoom.
Yeah, but it can also
Happy
look,
to hear your
these people,
voice
they
very
cannot
clearly, Ajay
use
Prabhu.
their
Yeah,
devices
thank you,
for
Krishna.
some kind of programs that could not be safe. We know that that the Google Meet is safe.
Google Meet is for only premium users. I think.
I see.
No, I don't
Rajagopal,
know.
your video is
I
not
don't know.
working.
Wait. Google Meets. I'm not a premium user. I was able to log in right away. As long as I have Gmail address, I guess, account with Google, I didn't
Yes.
need to do anything. I just clicked on the link and that's it. Because I guess because I have a Google account, not a premium, nothing. And I could hear everybody. I could hear Kushum. I could hear everybody. The only problem that we had that when he started singing, but when he was talking, we could hear him.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
the problem was the audio wasn't really clear when the background noise, it cancels other people.
It was not
And the
I not felt
background
so good.
noise was the fan. He turned off when he turned off the fan, and then everything was good.
No, it was very slow. Even after turning off the fan, I couldn't hear properly.
It was very, very low. The audio was not good there.
Yeah, audio was very low, and the quality
And
also
also,
very low.
video is also and quality is not so good.
Yeah. Zoom has the best quality. I don't know. Do they have their personal phones they could use instead of work phones?
That's possible, yes.
But in any way, look, we don't
wait
have
1 minute.
25 people.
Let me ask. Rasaraj Prabhu, Kusham Prabhu, do you have a separate computer that's not connected to your company that you can use? What did he say? What did you say?
The computer that he uses is also for work, and on top of that, there's no camera or microphone.
On his computer.
Right. So he uses it. He uses it for work. Anyway.
Oh.
What about a phone?
He doesn't. How about his
Well, we
phone?
can try Skype.
Prabhu, you're also using your phone for work? They have sensitive information on the phone? Yes.
Yes, for sure. So that's not possible.
Oh, okay.
Why don't we try Skype next time?
Then we'll try
After-
Skype. Okay, we'll try Skype.
Skype seems to be very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how it will go with Skype.
I
All right.
haven't used Skype in a long time. I've used Skype for business from work. but
Okay.
not- I haven't used regular Skype in a long
Well, we'll
time.
try it and then
I haven't used it either, but
we can try it and then we'll inform you before
Thank you.
the next Saturday. All right. Then, so shall we discuss Prapannajivanamrita? Now we were discussing last time the nectar in the lives of the surrendered souls. No. Ajay Prabhu, I don't know if your friend has any of these literatures. Is he able to follow any of this? Did you send anything to him?
No problem, I did not send.
Okay. What is his name? I don't remember. You said his name?
Hemant.
Hemant. Oh, did he come once with you one time? The same? He and his wife?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. They came.
I think they are expecting like a baby.
Yes, okay. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have any of the literature then?
No, Prabhu. He has Bhagavatam only.
Okay. If you like, you can send him the Prapannajivanamrita and our Kirtan book.
Sure.
If he likes to come.
I shared it, the PDF with everyone on the messaging on Zoom.
All right, Krishna Kesava said he shared all the literature on the messenger for Zoom. If he likes to look at the messages.
Can you send it again today? It does not save it actually.
It may take another 2 minutes. It's uploading.
Okay, I see. He said it's still uploading, so it may take another couple of minutes before everybody gets it. And if you don't have that literature, you can download it. And then if you want to join us next time, you can have that. Anyhow, today we're going to read from Papana Jivanamrita, page 12 at the bottom. And it says, Nityatvan Shaiva Shastreshu Prapter Gyayate Buddhai Aprapannas Nirjanma Vaifaloktes to Nityata. Thy scriptural reference, the learned know of the eternality of surrender to the Lord, since the futility of human life without that surrender is elucidated therein. In this way, the eternal constitution of surrender is established. People of the material world know nothing. They know nothing of the eternal world. Neither do they know how to connect to that, nor they know it exists, nor do they think it can be possible. They know nothing. Material world is of that nature. And a complete ignorance of the eternal, because everything in the material world is temporary. The world in Sanskrit is called Jagat. Jagat. That means that which goes, Jaya, Ja. In Sanskrit, Ja or Jaya means that goes. It comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. Everything in the material world is like that. It comes and goes. And who are in ignorance of the eternal world, they simply accept that as the reality. It comes and goes. It's temporary. And they are satisfied with that. Like animals, they're satisfied with their life. They know nothing beyond their own life. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, looking for food, whatever they're doing. That's their whole life. It's all absorbed in that. They have no higher thought, no ability to think anything higher than that. And they think that is all in all. But scripture are telling us, no, there's something else. There's something else. There is an eternal plane of eternality. And how do you get into that world? That eternal world is explained here by the learned, those who know something about that, those learned souls, the learned saints, the learned sages, the learned yogis. They have know about those things. They have inquired about those things that the normal people, they don't make even any inquiry, have no access to that at all. They have told that there is something more. There is an eternal plane. And that is reached by how? Beginning with surrender. That plane is there. You don't have to create it. And not a mental concoction. You don't have to create it with your imagination. And not that it's an imaginary creation. It's already there. You are already connected with that. Your nature is to be that eternal. And they say the soul is eternal, immortal. Soul does not die. That soul is you. You are there in the eternal plane. But because all attention is focused on the temporary, And you have no idea of that. And all you're driven by so many desires to do this, that, the other thing, all connected with the temporary world. No time for meditating on that which is other, and is not connected with the material. A material world means Jagat. It comes and goes. And we can't believe there's something else that doesn't come and go like that. There's eternal. Sat-cit-ananda. Eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Full of correct knowledge, real knowledge. Knowledge doesn't mean economics and politics and mathematics and physics and all these things. That's not knowledge. That's knowledge of the world, worldly knowledge. But that won't get you out from the temporary situation. And you'll have all that knowledge, but still you'll die. Everything will come to an end. Even if you have that knowledge, it won't help come to the eternal, bring you to the eternal platform. So then, how do we reclaim? We don't have to do anything but reclaim. We have to reclaim our eternal nature, become cognizant of that. And dive into that world and become a member of that world. And so this Shastra, he's talking here about scriptural reference. In the Shastra, the learned persons of that eternal plane, they have given all their explanations, all their advice, all their hints, all the things that they have gained, that knowledge they have gained about that. They have given us that. But who wants to listen to that nowadays? They are so concerned with so many other businesses. When Jesus taught, what did he say? What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world? He can become the president, he become the king, he can become the wealthiest billionaire or trillionaire or whatever in this world. But what does it profit that person if he loses his eternal soul? They will die. That man, trillionaire, that billionaire, whatever they have, they will die, just like the dog in the street will die. No? The dog is going to die, and the billionaire is going to die also. And the dog is going to go into the dirt and to the earth. He will become dust. And the billionaire will also become dust and go into the earth. And what's the difference? Oh, you die with $1 billion, you die with a tail between your legs. Then what's the difference? Dying is dying. It's all finished. You can't take your $1 billion with you. We are born naked and empty-handed. And you have to die like that too. They may put some fancy cloths on you, but ultimately, you'll take nothing of those clothes. You won't take them with you because they don't know there's something else. The body is not you. Which body is you? You had a body when you were a baby? Is that body you? What happened to that body when you were a baby? Your baby body is no more. And was that you? At what time did you become your body? Which body did you become? You have a baby body. You have a body as a teenager. A young person, a teenager. Which body is you? And you are not the body. Body is always changing. And when it dies, it's just another change. Another change of the body will occur. We don't know that. But if it's going from one body to the next in this life, why do we think in the next life is not going to be another body? That's Krishna's argument. If you're seeing the body is changing now, then when you die, why won't it change? You and the body are two different things. When your body is dead, it can't see anything, it can't feel anything. Body is there, all the organs are there, but they don't function because there's no consciousness, no life in the body. The eye can't see anything in the dead body. Whole eye is there. Eyeball, the optic nerve, the occipital lobe of the brain, everything is present in the dead body. But you shine a light in the eye of the dead body, it won't, the pupil won't close. You know, when you want to see if a person is dead, you put a light in their eye, flashlight, shine a light in their eye. If the pupil doesn't close and it stays open, then you know that person has no consciousness left. There's no life in that body. That's how they can tell. If the pupil constricts, even that person may be unconscious, still that pupil will constrict when you put the light. And then you can know, oh, there's still some life in here. But if it doesn't do anything, then you say, oh, it's dead. The consciousness has left. So without the consciousness, the body is nothing. It won't function. You won't have any sense. I don't have any sense. I don't have any sense consciousness. No kind of, no internal, no external consciousness. So where is that going? Where's that coming from? Where is that going? And that has to be inquired. And Bhagavad Gita is teaching us that. Who's trying to come? Somebody trying to come in? No?
I put the page number and the shloka number in the group chat on Zoom.
Okay.
Someone is asking about that.
Oh, all right.
That you're going here next?
Yes. So now on page 13, Prapana Jivanamitra, page 13. That's it. That's good.
On the PDF, it's page 52 out of 266.
Page 52 on the PDF. Page 13 on the face of the page. Number 13. Nandyad ichanti tat prada raja prapana vaishnavaha kinchid apiti tat tasya sadyatvam uchite buddhai. Because the devotees who have surrendered unto the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord never aspire for anything else whatsoever. The learned affirm that surrender is the attainable goal of all endeavors. A good sloka, because we're thinking, yes, how to surrender to Krishna? That's impossible. We're so entangled in material activities. Is it possible? What is this surrender to Krishna? How can we do that? We got so many obligations, so many this, so many that. Have to look after so many things, pay your rent, pay for the heating, pay for the water, keep free from disease. So many things that are binding us to the material conception of life. How is it possible to surrender? How is it ever possible to achieve that stage of the eternal samadhi? To be fixed in that world. To fix our attention there instead of here, to the temporary things. How is it possible? Seems impossible. It's impossible to control the wind, how it's blowing. You try to control the wind, and it's difficult, not possible. And make it, weather, people are trying to control the weather. Why is it raining when we don't want it? So many things like that. They can't change that though. What to speak of the mind? How do you control the mind? We can't even control the world, the environment. How are we going to control the mind is even more difficult because it's so subtle. Then where's the question of fixing the mind on something other than the world? So what do we do? Anyhow, process is given here in this book. By following these simple steps. By following the simple steps. Accept what is favorable, reject what is unfavorable, to devotion. Starting with that. One must have some faith, and then following a few principles. Then we are not recognizing that that other world, that eternal world, is also trying to help us. Without the help of that world, then it's difficult for us, no doubt. But we don't know that that world is also intelligent. It also has some feeling. It also has some qualities, personal qualities. And the independent existence of the jiva soul, the independent existence we experience in the material world, there is something else where we are connected in a unity with another realm, another community, a divine community, divine person. We are part of that. And that world has allowed us to take our independent platform, our independent positions here, but it also can bring us back. But we can make some endeavor on our side, and that will make an endeavor from his side. And somehow or other, when we are sincere, when we have purified our hearts and become qualified to enter into that world by our sincerity, then that will happen by his grace. Not all up to us, because we are so infinitesimal. And no doubt it's impossible to make progress on our own. But there is help. The infinite can come to help the finite. No problem for the infinite. But we have to show some willingness, that's all. He is playing with us and hoping that he can establish a relationship with us, but we have to make that relationship happen from our side also. So all these instructions are given, all this advice is given, all this encouragement is given to help the devotees make further progress. And let's say even we don't get there, but the process is very nice. Even we don't get to the goal, still the process is very nice. Process of devotional service, very nice. A happy life, peaceful life, loving life. You can meet so many nice devotees, have some relationship, develop some activities that are not ugly and entangling and causing harm to others, purifying your life, eating nice prasadam, having very high thoughts, loving thoughts of offering everything in your existence to Krishna. And we find even just that process, trying to think of Krishna in every instance, every situation of our life, we become happy. As soon as we forget about Krishna, as soon as the devotee forgets Krishna, he gets entangled in so many miserable things. And he realizes the simple process, just remembering Krishna. Hare Krishna, he chants when there's some difficulty, when there's some forgetfulness, he can simply say Hare Krishna. And immediately remembers, oh yes, this is about Krishna. It's all about Krishna. It's his story, history, not my story. Don't worry so much about yourself. Then you will lead in so many difficulties. You think about Krishna, and all your difficulties will disappear. Not only that, but then he will help you also. When you have the help of the divine, when you have the help of the infinite, everything falls into place. Everything becomes harmonious and peaceful and sweet and happy. You can know this by experience. We ask anyone, you try this Krishna consciousness. And by your own experience, you will understand. Yes, it's very nice, very sweet. I am becoming happy. Everyone has experience. So, not something that is blindly have to follow. It's something that gives a result. It's scientific. Because it is real. It is real. And these people are not cheating. All these saints, all the Shastra, the whole history, the whole tradition, not a cheating process. Kaitava Dharma. They call it Kaitava Dharma, means cheating religions. Some in the name of religion, they're teaching materialistic things, even in the name of religion. But we're not teaching like that. We say don't get involved in any materialistic thing. Involve your life in the spiritual thinking, spiritual activities. Then, by that kind of pure life, and connecting everything with the Lord, then we will see how our life will take on a different experience, different significance, different meaning, and a different quality, transcendental quality of devotion. And you see if you become satisfied. When I first came to the Krishna consciousness, I was a scientist, and I thought, let me try. I'm a scientist. Let me experiment with this process. I'm going to make myself the experiment. If I can experience what they say, then I'll know it's actually true. Let me try it. Let me see if I can experience what they're saying. If you can experience what they're saying, how much you are going to gain. Sat-cit-ananda, eternity, bliss, knowledge. Are you willing to put yourself in the test tube? Then you can tell, is it work or not work? So like that. It's direct experience. Pratyaksha vagamam dharmam. You know that verse? Pratyaksha vagamam dharmam. By direct experience. How does that verse go?
Bhagavad Gita 9.2.
Huh?
9.2.
What is it?
Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
9.1. That verse. Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam Pavitramidam Uttam Pratyakshavagam Dharmyam Susukam Kattum Abhyam.
Rajavidya, Rajakuyam, huh?
Yeah.
Pravitam, Idam Uttamam, Pratyakshavagam Dharmam, then
Susukam Kattum Abhyam.
Susukyam Kartum Avyayam, huh? Susukam Kartum Avyayam. King of knowledge, king of wisdom, the most secret, king of all secrets. Why is this being kept so secret from everyone? Nobody knows the secret of happiness. Nobody knows the secret of the highest knowledge. Nobody knows the secret of how to become completely happy. It's already given in the Bhagavad Gita for so many thousands of years. And nobody knows. Rajaguyam. Guya means it's secret. The king of all secrets is that you can become eternally and blissfully happy forever. This is the king of secrets in this world. You don't have to work like dogs and cats and buffalo. So many things people are doing to become happy. Not required to do all of that. The king of knowledge is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is pleading with us. Don't be so mudha. Mudha means ass, jackass. Working like jackass. Mudha. Duskritina, rascal. Oh, we're living a rascal, jackass life. He uses very strong language because he wants to tell you something. He's trying to get through to their thick skull that why you are not listening to that knowledge. Why do you think it's impossible? So it's Guyam. Guyam means secret. It's very hidden. It's hidden in this world. Hidden in plain sight. Huh? Yeah. Hidden in plain sight. It's so obvious, but it's hidden to you. Sometimes that happens, that when something is there all the time, you don't see it. Just like it says in the scripture, in the Bhagavatam, I think, that there is a noise, a sound. The planets and their movements in the universe, there's a great sound that's being made. A great sound in the background of everything is there constantly. And because that sound is there constantly in the background, we don't hear it. It's a funny thing. If something is there constantly, you don't hear it. You only hear it if it stops. Then you say, oh, there was something. Some sound. Without stopping, if it's always there, you don't know it. Just like people are breathing in the air. But they don't know that there's oxygen there in the air. And therefore, they can breathe nicely. And thankfully, it's there all the time. But if it stopped, then we would realize, just like you go up the mountain. If you go up on the mountain, go to very high, you'll lose your breath. You won't be able to breathe so nicely. You get out of breath. You could die, actually. Or if you go deep in the water, sometimes the air becomes too dense, and sometimes it becomes too light, and then you can't breathe properly. But otherwise, we're not conscious of breathing, and yet it's all because there is a certain amount of oxygen in the air that we can breathe properly. But we may become unconscious of that, even though it is necessary for our existence. It's like that. Raja Vidya, Raja Guya. The highest knowledge, the greatest secret is that. The greatest knowledge, the king of knowledge is the secret, is the king of secrets in this world. But one who listens, who has some inclination to believe, to have faith in Krishna and what he is saying, they can understand. They get this great secret and they get this great gift. Hare Krishna. Oh, very simple. And it says, Bhava dukkha vinashascha paranistara yogyata param padmam padam papatyaiva Krishna sampraptir evacha. Only by surrender to the Lord can one gain freedom from the miseries of birth, death, disease, and infirmity. Fitness to deliver others from these miseries, the holy abode of Krishna, and devotional service of Lord Krishna. Holy abode of Lord Vishnu and the devotional service. How does that? Only by surrender. All you have to do is surrender. What could be easier? You don't have to do anything, in other words. Only surrender. Lord, I am yours. Do with me what you want. Do with me what you want. Not doing what I want. That's the key. That's the switch that turns on immortality. The switch for immortality is to stop. Hit the pause button. People are sitting in their houses now. Everything had to stop. They didn't die. Rather, it's the way to live. They're finding that by stopping their activities, they can live longer. Not necessary to stop what you're doing to live. And people would never think like that. If you tell them to stop, I cannot stop. How I can stop? Then I won't be able to live. But now everyone is forced to stop. Stop. Just stop. You can't do anything. Stop. And still they're living. So Krishna is telling that. Stop. Surrender to me. Listen to me. They're stopping their activities, but they're not listening to anyone but themselves still. They have to listen to the government orders. But basically, they still think they're independent. And Krishna is saying, no, you are belong to me. You are my servants. Now, you have stopped your other activities. Now, learn how to act in my behalf in relation to me. That's surrender. And that's another step. So stopping your external activities is one thing, but now turning your internal activities toward him, that's another thing. And developing love and devotion, surrender, all those things. That's another step. And here, the scripture, the saints, the Lord, they can help us how to get to that next step. Shravana kirtanadinam bhakti yanangam yajshane akshabasyapi sarvapti prapatyama haravite. Everything is accomplished by surrendering unto the lotus feet of Sri Hari, even for one who was unable to execute the integral practice of devotional service based on hearing and chanting. Without surrender, all of our activities, even the so-called spiritual activities, are meaningless. Sometimes people engage in spiritual activities for some personal recognition. Oh, I am devotee. Everyone can see that I am devotee. No, not like that. One has to surrender to Krishna. And to be surrendered from within the heart. Real devotee may not show any external symptoms of devotion, because he doesn't want to get any recognition that I am devotee, because that takes away from his internal focus his internal concern with having his connection with that world. So externally, he may not show any symptoms, but is there always for the devotee, sincere devotee. May be very quiet, may not even be preaching, may be doing nothing, but always internally is has his mind fixed, his heart fixed.
Guru of Gadadhar Pandit.
Huh?
The Guru of Gadadhar Pandit.
Pundarik Vidinidhi. Yes, we're showing externally so many materialistic symptoms. But internally, he was always fixed in Krishna consciousness. So Sharanagati, surrender, that is the symptom, that is the characteristic that we want to look for in a devotee, in a genuine devotee. They have that characteristic. We can see their inner connection. Even the most extreme outer problems, external problems may come to such a devotee, it makes no difference. They're undisturbed because their inner connection is there, nishta. So that's the qualification. Surrender, humility and surrender. Always very humble to the Lord and the devotees. They are the real devotees. That is the symptom. Then Sakya Rasarvita Praya Seti Kechit Vedanti tu Madhur Yado Prapannanam Pavesho Nasti Chaitina. Some claim that surrender is generally in the relationship of friendship or Sakyaras, but it is a complete fallacy to think that surrendered souls have no entrance into divine relationships headed by consorthood, Madhurya Rasa. Some have a very formal, think that a relationship with Krishna has to be very formal. He is God, I am the servant, master and servant relationship. That's called Dasyaras. But there are higher relationships. The devotee can actually fall in love with Krishna, and Krishna can fall in love with his devotee. That's possible. Inconceivable, even in the more modern religious practices, they know nothing about that. Sometimes in the Christian world we find these things mentioned, the bride of Krishna or whatever, but that relationship does exist in that higher world also. So that's a little difficult for the ordinary persons to understand. Until we actually make progress in that direction, we won't be able to understand that properly. And it exists there. Love of the highest, most divine quality can be found there also. Inconceivable, but is there. If it is real, then it will certainly become apparent how that is possible. Okay, now, what time? 53, almost 4 o'clock. I don't want to keep everyone. You have your daily lot of things to do today. So I think we'll end and ask if there's any question, anything one he wants to discuss.
The sound was coming on the live stream, but all of a sudden it stopped.
Oh.
It's strange,
Maharaj?
you know.
All right.
What happens?
Yes.
You were describing about the Rajvidya. And I mean, your explanation was so beautiful. And actually, that particular chapter is called the most confidential knowledge. It's the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
And specifically, Krishna has already explained about the Atma before that. And he has also explained about himself as God, as absolute truth.
Yes.
But in this chapter, he is going to describe about devotional service. And
The
specifically
sound
because
was
it is,
coming on the live stream.
and because it is about devotional service, it is the most confidential. Because it is, because previously to that, Arjuna has asked few questions to Krishna, that kim tad, I mean, who is the soul, who is God, who are these demigods, and all these questions he has asked. And what is the supreme destination? Last question. That means how to die when one time comes. And to answer that question, Krishna tells about devotees. And that's why in this chapter, Maharaj, there is a description about patram phalam, that is offer a leaf, a flower. These type of things are described in this chapter. So that's why this cannot be understood by non-devotees.
Yes, for someone who has no belief in Krishna or anything like that, this sounds like what a talking in the air. Just talk, empty talk, without understanding there is God, without actually having that knowledge, without having that conviction, without having that consciousness. Then all these talk that we're saying, that means nothing to them. We might as well be talking about flowers in the sky, right? Sky flowers. How you can grow flowers from the air. What kind of nonsense they will think.
And I heard that
like drinking bleach. Some people say you can drink bleach to get cured from the coronavirus. That's crazy talk.
Our president says that.
Well, I don't want to say any names, but we don't want to talk nonsense things. We have to have some kind of understanding that devotee has, that automatically they are devotees who know that this kind of talk is meaningful, very meaningful to them. They have some connection already. Some heart qualification has to be there. And the fertile heart of the devotee, they have some awareness, some connection with that plane already. For them, this has great significance for them. For the atheist and non-believer and materialist and so many other consciousness that is there, these things are not either believable, not acceptable, no connection to. And to them is very hidden. The secret is very hidden. So there are such people all over the world of different levels of awareness, different levels of consciousness. And not everyone is going to become Krishna conscious. And not everyone will. But, and we have to try to make that atmosphere as pure as possible by preaching, by spreading the word, so that people may hear and gradually become purified also and aware of these things and try to turn them from the wicked things that are actually destroying their lives, destroying their communities, destroying the earth, everything. As the duty of the Vaishnava, the devotee, they live their life in such a way that whoever they come in contact with, they may be influenced in the right direction. They may not even preach very widely, but just their vibration is there. Their activities are influencing others. And in that way, the world may gradually become purified. Otherwise, They won't go in the right proper direction. And Krishna
Better
says,
than
when he
better
has
than
to,
drinking
he
bleach.
comes. When Krishna comes himself sometime. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskam. Krishna has to come himself sometimes when the situation gets so bad that even the devotee can't help. They come and kill the devotee, just like Jesus. He was a devotee. And what do? They killed him. And they were preaching love, and they come and kill him in the most atrocious way. Huh? So this, when such things happen, he has to come himself. Although Jesus was actually coming as a son of God, they could not understand even that, how they treat the son of God. Anyhow, Mahaprabhu came, he taught, and thankfully he did not have to suffer those kind of things. But his message is there, and his devotees are there, and they are continuing on following what he's teaching and trying in that way, in a peaceful way, in a happy way, to distribute that. Zana, what did you want to say?
Oh, nothing.
You okay?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You were just saying that, we devotees, by talking to other people, you make them better, things like that, right? In changing their view, making them better, right? Because of our vibrations. And I just said that, well, it's much better than drinking Clorox.
Huh? I could not understand what she was saying.
And that was just like a joke of the moment.
Oh, I see.
Don't pay attention.
It's better than drinking Clorox, you said.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Maharaj, I found slope number 40 very intriguing. It appears to say that you can surrender to the Lord even without hearing and chanting.
Yes, why not? Huh? If Krishna wants, everything can happen. That Ajamil, huh? Ajamil? He was not thinking of Krishna, but he called his son Narayan. He said Narayan. Or Valmiki, huh? He told you chant Harama.
Mara, yeah.
Huh? Mara, rather. That you kill. Mara. And he's saying Mara, Rama, like that. It became Rama.
Backwards.
So somehow, if one can get some connection somehow, whatever way that it may be, then it's possible they may become devotee. Not that it has some formula. If you follow this formula, then you can become. No, it's not like that. Like I said, some people may be following the formula very carefully, but but their motive is different. Surrender is not there. Then, no matter what formula they follow, it won't work. You won't get the result. So somehow or other, surrender to Krishna, and by the grace of the Vaishnava, by grace of Guru, according to their own sincerity of the Vaishnava, we may be inspired to recognize that real quality, the real quality of surrender, and have that inspire us. Oh yes, I want to be surrendered also. That, like I said, that is not an artificial thing. not a mental thing. And our fundamental nature is to surrender to Krishna. Fundamental. We don't have to do anything to get that. It's already there within us to be able to do that. And our what do you call that? Our constitutional position, to be surrendered souls unto the Lord. Well, we just have to remind one another. That's what we're aiming for. We just have to remind, oh yes, this is what I'm looking for.
Maharaj,
Yes, Maharaj.
many times, it is being told by the devotees, this verse, Bahu dukkha paiyachi, swatantra jivane, sab dukkha dura gelo opada barane. I got lot of suffering because of, independent life. And all my misery is gone by taking shelter at your lotus feet. So always feet is emphasized, and you many times explained us that feet represents the devotee of the Lord. So the role of devotee seems to be most important in Saranagati for the conditioned souls like us.
Yes, like the, what is that called, that stone?
Chintamani.
Touchstone, huh? Chintamani, the touchstone. When you want to make some reaction occur, sometimes the energy to make that chemical reaction occur is very high. I don't remember now which one, but some chemical reactions are very hard to get going. Just like you add alkali and acid together, it will make a salt very easily. But some radioactive, another thing that's also there, but acid and base, they can act
Endothermic
together
reaction.
to make a salt. But if you add, certain reactions won't occur unless you add a catalyst. Some you have to put some metal, some aluminum, some
Platinum,
copper. Huh?
To
platinum
lower the
catalyst.
activation energy.
So if you put the catalyst, the reaction will go very easily.
Yeah.
The reaction will occur very rapidly and very explosively sometimes. So the catalyst is help what would normally be very difficult. In the same way, devotee is like a catalyst, touchstone. They can make the thing happen very easily. Make our devotional life become more effective and powerfully effective, and even effective. Their surrender will become more appropriate, more accessible. So
It's
devotee
like
is
saying
like that.
devotees lower the activation energy to surrender to the Lord.
Something they can help. By coming in contact with that, we can find our activation is increased, our devotion is increased. I remember Srila Prabhupada once gave an example. He said, when you're a kid, you're riding your bicycle on the street, and then some truck comes by, and you put your hand out and you hold the truck, and then you go very fast. Your bicycle can go very fast. Of course, don't do that because it's a very dangerous thing. But he gave that example that by holding on to the spiritual master, then one can make rapid progress. One can go very fast. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj,
Yes.
also the role of free will in surrender seems to be, not so much discussed in other sampradayas, but I heard from you that Srila Siddhar Maharaj given much emphasis for the freedom of the devotees, even in when advances in spiritual life. And I've read, where Siddhar Maharaj also was comparing about the two lines in Ramanuja's line, like they have, this Tonko and another is there, two lines. And there, they follow, one is cat logic, another is monkey logic. So the monkey logic, where baby holds on to mother, Siddhar Maharaj said, this is our line. Even though we have minor to freedom, but we have it and we try to, adhere to the will of Lord, to serve Him. And that is our line. And not the, the cat logic where everything is done by Lord. So to maintain the freedom also, and how devotee can execute the surrender, Maharaj. Like sometimes seems to be devotees are forceful and Lord is following them in some of the cases we see. And some cases Lord is dominating and it is devotee who is following.
Well, the thing is this. We don't understand the meaning of freedom. Who can understand what real freedom means? There is no difference between freedom and surrender. Real freedom means complete surrender. As much as you are surrendered, you are free. And as much as you are not surrendered, you are bound. This they don't understand. Hegel also taught that. The essence of freedom is necessity. Necessity is the truth of freedom. Freedom is the truth of necessity. Very difficult to understand. But anyhow, opposites, how they are the same. Most people have no idea, no ability to recognize. Achintya, achintya, beda, beda. It's just inconceivable how freedom and necessity are the same thing. Just like he said, being and nothing are the same thing. So how to grasp that inconceivable? So Guru Maharaj taught, die to live. You may say, well, you're dying or you're living. Now, which one do you want? What does this die to live mean? How you can live and die at the same time? How you can how you can die and live at the same time? How you can live and die at the same time? What is this? So, how can freedom and surrender be the same? You want to maintain your freedom, but therefore you are binding yourself by not surrendering. By thinking you are free, you are not a slave to anyone. You are actually creating slavery for yourself. How is it possible? So how is it possible? To understand this is a little difficult, very difficult.
Maharaj.
But one minute,
No freedom.
one minute. I'm going to try to explain some a little bit more. So, in this life we are living now, do you know how it's going about? How we are maintaining our life? Do you know? You heard of metabolism? Metabolism? You know that word? Metabolism. If your metabolism is working, then you're living. If it's not working, then some problem. So, but what is metabolism? Do you know the meaning of metabolism? And the biology, they have three words: a metabolism, anabolism, and catabolism. You know these? Anabolism means building up, a process in the body in which the cells are building themselves up. That's going on in the body. Then catabolism. Catabolism means at the same time the cells are becoming disintegrated. They are dying. Cells are building up and they are also tearing down. They tear down themselves and they build up themselves. Tearing down and building up, tearing down and building up and building up and tearing down. That process is called metabolism. That's how your body goes on. If the metabolism is working properly, then there's two processes of tearing down and building up going on simultaneously. So we say Rajagun, Sattvagun, Tamagun. What is Rajagun? Rajagun means building up, creating creative force, Rajagun. That's Brahma. Tamagun, who is that?
Eva.
Shiva, huh? And what is his business? Tearing down, huh? Destruction. So there's Rajagun, creation. There's Tamagun, destruction. And then who is Vishnu?
Maintainer.
Maintaining, huh? Satagun.
Satyagun.
Satagun is maintaining. And maintaining what? This Rajagun, Satagun process is going on. And the maintenance is Satagun. So it's all throughout. This process is going on. The opposites, creation and destruction, are opposites. But there's a synthesis that's going on also. The synthesis is there. We only see building and tearing down, but that is a synthesis. There can be a process out of that, come out from that. And that is called also, and we have the word become. Becoming. What is becoming? When we say something is becoming, then nothing is coming into being, and being is coming into nothing. Going, disappearing, and appearing. Something is coming to be, and ceasing to be. Coming to be and ceasing to be, when they're put together and to form some union, that's called becoming. Becoming means what is not there is coming to there, and what is there is ceasing to be. No?
Yeah.
Becoming means what is there is stopping, and what is not there is coming. So coming to be, ceasing to be, this is becoming. And made of two opposite movements. And so this is very fine thinking, how to understand it, dynamic. And that things are not just there, some static thing, but there are also some dynamic thinking has to be present, and if we are to understand things properly. So then, freedom and necessity.
No,
And if you don't have, what's that?
There was one more thing that Hegel said about this free will. He said that the rights, the idea of rights, the right is not objective or actual until it is recognized. So that means one may say, I will do something for, say, Lord or for spiritual master, but if it is not accepted, then that is not devotional service.
Another thing, but then if, what did I want to say now? That freedom and necessity, huh? Why are these, how do we understand freedom and necessity? I had a very simple way I try to explain it. That, let's say you're driving down the road and you are free to go where you want, no? You have the car and you're driving in the open road, you can go wherever you want. That's freedom. But if you don't stay on the right side of the road, some cars coming from the other direction, then you're going to get in an accident, no? A freedom will stop. If you go too fast around the curve, your car will go off the road and your freedom will be finished. So freedom will work if there is some necessity also, some law. Then your freedom becomes full. By violating the law, however, your freedom is constricted, just like the criminal. Everyone who's not in jail, they're free to do what they want. If they violate the laws, then their freedom is restricted. They're put in the jail. No? So freedom doesn't mean without restriction. Necessity and law is a part of freedom. It allows your freedom. Law does not restrict your freedom, but it allows it to go on without getting stopped. Something like that. Law and necessity. The law is necessity, and the freedom is your free will, but they don't act against one another. If you want to live in a society and then be completely free without considering anyone else's freedom, you'll be restricted, because someone else will think they're free, and you think you're free. Then they conflict, and what happens? No, it's my property. No, it's my property. They'll fight. Uh, I am free to do what I want. I can kill you if I want. Then the other person will think, well, I am also free to kill you. And what? Everyone will live in fear from the other person. But if we have the law, no, you kill, you'll have to go to jail. And everyone will behave properly, and you'll have your freedom to live nicely. So freedom requires law. Freedom requires necessity. Otherwise, it becomes chaotic. It becomes destructive. Without necessity, freedom becomes destructive, self-destructive. And the only way it can become constructive and proper freedom, concrete freedom we can call it, real freedom, is in the presence of the restriction of the necessity. So that's why it is taught. Freedom and necessity are not contradictory. They're complementary. Understand? Sometimes it's like that. There's so many instances we can point out where the opposites are necessary in order to produce something positive. So being and nothing, coming to be, ceasing to be, they are opposites, but together they can work to produce something positive, becoming. Something like that, huh? Most times people don't think of these things. What is there? There in philosophy, and there in religion also. So surrender and freedom are also like that. All complete surrender will be complete freedom. And complete freedom will be complete surrender. Hare Krishna. Then, all right, now what does anyone want to say? Zana?
Well, as I feel, there is no freedom to begin with. It's all like just an artificial word, freedom, because we are not free to do anything. Now, here, we started the session. We will not be able to do this session if there were no technology, if somebody doesn't have a computer or cell phone or tablet. We are not free to conduct the session. We are not free to listen to each other if we don't have speakers, if we don't have phones. We are not free to conduct the session if we don't have time to do that. We are, and the basic thing is that we are not free because we need air to breathe in order to live. That's not freedom. We are not free if we don't eat. We need food. I'm not free. I'm not going to eat at all, and I will live. This is my choice. This is my freedom. No, I depend on it. This is a necessity.
That means dependence and independence. They're talking about.
Well, it's not only dependence.
Our point is that we are dependent.
Yeah.
We're not independent. Huh? We think we're independent, but we are completely dependent.
But in terms of like when you were giving an example, when
yes, also we're not free to be independent. We're not free to be independent. We are dependent.
Then there is no freedom.
And yes, then what is the question?
No, it's not the question. It's my statement that there is no freedom.
No, I'm saying what is the question of being free if we're completely dependent? So that's also part of the answer, part of the achintya, inconceivable nature of our existence. Then
I guess like the only freedom I have is to.
You have a question?
I guess the only freedom that like I feel I have is actually to think whatever I want
Yes, we
for
are.
my consciousness.
We are.
That's freedom.
Yes,
The
we are
rest
free.
of the things in my life that surrender me, it's no freedom.
We are free to remember Krishna or to forget him.
Mhm. Yes.
We can remember Krishna and we can forget him. If we remember Krishna, we recognize, oh, I'm dependent. If we forget him, we think we're independent foolishly. Huh? Because we're not
Maharaj,
independent. But, yes.
here Krishna is supremely independent, and yet he says that I am also a slave of my devotee, a paradhin. I am dependent on my devotee. So simultaneously, how that is exhibited.
That's his nature. The nature is like that.
Yes, Prabhu. Dandavats, Rasaraj, Prabhu. Dandavats.
I know that's true. Rasaraj is leaving us.
Dhanavad.
Anyhow, these are interesting questions.
Maharaj,
We should think about this. Yes.
I read in one place about Hegel, when he discusses these type of topics, he says, for example, if somebody owns a piece of land, then what is the physical law for that? There is no law as such that can prove that somebody owns a land, but it's only a contract or an agreement between different parties that one owns some certain piece of land. So in the discussion of will, we need an idea of agreement or a kind of otherwise this is not really will that we are discussing, because when we discuss will, then like free will, then there is some kind of a, what to say, different subjective agents are there, and there must be some kind of a agreement between the groups to say that something is belonging to somebody, or and then when we respect that, then it becomes favorable to the institution or the organization for which we are working. So because we are never independent, but we are in connection with the reality that is there. So therefore,
Problem is this. Who owns anything? Huh?
yeah,
That land before they came was there. And then they make some contract that this is my land, you don't take this. But whose land is that? Not their land.
yeah,
That's the first point. First point is doesn't belong to them either. They may make some claim,
yeah,
but they're not theirs. Bhoktaram Yagya Tapaswam Sarvaloka Maheshwara. I am the enjoyer, Krishna says. Everything belongs to me. Then they're all arguing over nonsense. This is mine, this is yours. Of course, that is relative. It's called relative consideration, absolute consideration. Relatively, you may have to make some contract, but absolutely, it's all nonsense from absolute perspective. Krishna is the owner. He is the enjoyer. Don't become crazy to think, oh, I have so much now, this is all mine. And anyone who tries to take it from me, they are a thief. You are already the thief. Already there.
Maharaj,
Yes?
Maharaj, he's also enjoyer and he's also the doer.
The what?
Enjoyer.
The enjoyer, yes. Bhoktaram,
Doer.
he says, I am the enjoyer of sacrifice. Bhoktaram.
Because in the Bhagavad Gita 3.27, all actions in the world are in every respect affected by the modes of material nature,
Yes,
which
yes.
compelled by the senses, but a man deluded by bodily identification thinks I am alone, I am accomplishing this work.
Yes. Yeah, there's a very difficult topic in Bhagavad Gita. It explains very deeply how action comes about. Ultimately, it is coming about from Krishna, no doubt. That is the ultimate actor. Without that inspiration, then all his other so-called actions, they can't happen. They're all
But
connected. Huh?
somebody says that somebody did something wrong, and he will tell, "I'm not the doer. Only Krishna is doer." Then how
Yes.
can we explain them?
That's true. Then you can't really blame others. If you have somebody does something wrong to you, then a devotee understands, this is my karma. Krishna is giving me my karma. Krishna is producing this problem for me so that I may understand. He doesn't blame the other person. Oh, you are a bad man. No, he doesn't think like that. I am the bad man. Then I'm getting some reaction for my being a bad person. I understand. A devotee thinks like that. Opposite the way a materialist thinks. Materialists think, oh, I'm going to fine you. I'm going to bring you to court and then punish you. But devotee thinks, I am being punished for my own misdeed. And if Krishna wants, he can forgive me or he can make me suffer. It's up to him. Yes, that is a true vision of a devotee. How humble he must become. And that is explained in the scripture also. That is the quickest way to get free from your karma. Accept everything as your fault. My fault.
Sridhar Maharaj, yes.
My fault. I am responsible for whatever happens to me. By my own deeds, I have getting the fruit of my actions. And if I now surrender to Krishna, then I can get free from all these things. But otherwise, he doesn't try to fight the environment. He doesn't try to fight, not in that way. He fights in a different way, by chanting Hare Krishna. His only fight is to remember Krishna, and in all circumstances, even in the worst circumstances, even in the most negative conditions, he thinks, no, let me just remember Krishna, and he will solve every problem. He is God, and who am I? Nothing. Why God can't solve all these problems, and how he can be God? Right? The vision of the devotee is of that nature. Doesn't blame the environment. Sridhar Maharaj used to give some saying that a bad workman quarrels with his tools. Quarrels with his tools. I couldn't make that cabinet properly because I didn't have the right tools. Or my tools are not right. He doesn't say I'm a bad carpenter. He don't think like that. But that is the fact. He cannot make a nice cabinet, then he's not a good carpenter. He can't blame the tools. And he used to say stools. Actually, instead of tool, he would say stool. The bad workman quarrels with his stools. Stools means you are the producer of the stool, huh? You can't say there's so much stool here. Now, where that I am not responsible for that. The stool is not my responsibility, of course. You are producing it. Okay? That's the idea. Don't argue with what you produce. And devotee sees like that. Don't argue with what you produce. Huh? Karma.
Actually, Maharaj, Srila Acharya Maharaj told something during Kartik Parikrama that
Yes.
one person told him that he went to Vrindavan and he found everywhere what is there in Vrindavan, why people are going Vrindavan. Everywhere there is stool, where is stool, and what they are getting, they are going Vrindavan, everywhere dirty. Then Srila Acharya asked him, with whom you went there? He said he went alone, and that's why you seen that thing. He told like that to him. That according to
Yes, I heard that Sridhar Maharaj gave that example. That one devotee came to Navadvip and he saw so many dogs there, and they're all passing stool on the road, on the side of the road. The dog, dogs do that. They go to the bathroom. They don't think of cleaning up. Then one one visitor came to Navadvip to see Sridhar Maharaj, and he asked Sridhar Maharaj, why? This place is so dirty. There are so many dogs doing this and that on the side of the road. And then Sridhar looked at him and said, Dad, you have come here to see stool? You are looking at stool? You came here to see that? Then no higher vision? No other vision? You had nothing else to see? And Govinda Maharaj used to say the same thing, huh? And looking for the holes in the temple where the ants are coming. You're looking at the ants, the ant holes. You come to look for that. Why are you looking at that part? The deities are there, the beautiful deities, the wonderful devotees. And you are looking for the holes where the ants are coming. No. How to adjust your focus, what you are attending to, where your attention is. Don't look for the faults and the bad things. Look for the good. There's so much good, so much beauty, so much to appreciate. And don't try to find the difficulties. Prabhupada used to give the example of the moon. Moon is very beautiful at night. But some people are saying, oh, that's not such a nice moon. Look at all those marks, the pock marks on the moon. See, there's so many holes, craters, things like that on the moon. They're seeing that part, and they don't see the beauty of the moon. Oh, the nice cooling rays of the moon are there to light the night. They're criticizing the moon for its pockmarks. So, like that, don't criticize. Especially devotees, we don't want to criticize devotees because we see some defect. And Prabhupada also used to give the example that when you are taking a shower, you can tell, oh, you are so dirty, look at this, so many dirt on your shoulder. Wait a minute, I'm taking a shower, I'm cleaning it. Then don't think that because I'm taking a shower, you can criticize me for being dirty. I'm trying to cleanse myself. Give me some time, and may not be able to do in 1 minute. 1 minute. What will take 2 minutes to do. So,
Radhakrishna Prabhu wanted to ask for some reference of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, answering to Jamraj about, Apiche Sudurachar, that Sloka Maharaj.
Yes.
So he was looking for, reference where that incident came from. I was looking for that. I could not find any quoted reference, but Siddhar Maharaj devotees told about that.
Yeah, you'll have to look at the tapes of Sridhar Maharaj. He explained that. I don't remember either where.
Sarnagati book it is there, Maharaj.
Okay.
No, he refers to who was that? Narad Muni, and who else was having the discussion? And
Oh, Narad Muni?
Yes.
Bhakti Vinod was having
Bhakti
discussion.
Vinod was traveling through the sky,
Shiva,
and so
Shiva,
they said
Shiva,
he's a devotee.
Lord
Let's ask Lord
Lord
Shiva.
Shiva, Yamraj, and Narada Muni.
Yes,
They were having a discussion. So there is a devotee, high-class devotee. Let's ask him the real meaning of the verse. I was wondering where that came from.
Where it came from, yes. I don't know.
Thakur's dream, Maharaj.
Huh?
Bhaktivinoda's
dream, but where he described that, I don't know.
Okay.
Discussed by devotees many places.
Anyhow, that is also a very nice verse in this regard, because devotee, there are two devotees. One is seeing the other devotee, oh, he is not very pure devotee. That is not very good, because it means I am seeing that I am pure and this one is not pure. But it's just the opposite. One who sees a devotee as pure, even though there may be some defect. Because he is pure, his heart is pure, he can see like that. Everything is related to Krishna. He doesn't try to find a fault in the other. Because one who finds fault, his own heart is having fault. Bhakti Siddhanta used to say that. He used to criticize everyone, Bhakti Siddhanta. he was criticizing everyone because he told I'm criticizing others because my own heart is honeycombed with faults. He used to say that. My own heart is honeycombed with faults, and I'm finding so many faults in others. That was his argument. But Bhaktisiddhanta used to criticize others because he was preaching. He was trying to present the proper thing. And then who was showing some other symptom, he just said, no, don't do like that. Huh? He was trying to correct the situation. It wasn't really just trying to criticize for this or some other purpose. He wanted to criticize because his purpose was to show how to properly execute devotional service. But he also recognized that I'm criticizing others because my own heart is full, honeycomb. Huh? But whose heart is pure? Even some defect is there, he won't see that as a defect. He will see that as some kind of, ornament. Ornament to enhance Krishna's pastimes. It's quite possible. He will see it as a compliment, how it is helping to promote Krishna's pastimes. Whose heart is pure has that. It can't be done artificially, but a pure heart, they may see like that, actually. Bhakti, it's his name, not Bhakti. Krishnadas Babaji. No.
The stones they are throwing.
Oh?
The boy.
What is his name?
Krishnadas, I think.
No,
No.
Kishore Das
Kishore Das Babaji. Kishore Das Babaji. He had the rickets. He was very crippled, and he walked in a very crooked way, with a crooked body. And he would only wear one loincloth, and he was walking, and the children would see him walking like that, like some crazy man, and walking half naked and crooked in the streets, and they would make fun of him and throw stones to him. And he was thinking, Krishna, you are such a naughty boy. I'm going to tell Mother Yasoda on you because you are behaving in such a terrible way to me. He used to see like that. Can you imagine? He used to see. It was Krishna throwing the stones. So that is a pure heart. Doesn't find any fault outside of himself. Only he sees Krishna within and without. And in that way he's moving in this world. As a fact, I find all these instances, all these explanations there in the scriptures, in the lives of the saints. So,
once Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, he told to his godbrothers that you are playing all small kasa, means a bell metal, that thing beating, and I am playing a drum, big drum.
Yes.
Then they become very angry, and they told
No, Sridhar Maharaj said that.
Huh?
That was Sridhar Maharaj's explanation.
They told to Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada told to them something they were criticizing, and Prabhupada told them that you are playing that small kansa and I am playing drum. And when they complained to Sridhar Maharaj, then Sridhar Maharaj told, oh, he has not excluded you from Sankirtan. He included you. Both drum and that bell metal beating are necessary for Sankirtan.
Because Prabhupada said that he was the only one preaching and the others they're all eating and sleeping. All his godbrothers.
Like that. Sridhar Maharaj saw it in a higher way. They were complaining, Prabhupada is committed. Look at that. We are his godbrothers. He is criticizing us so much. What criticizing? He's giving you a place there in this Sankirtan. Very nice, huh? Anyhow. All right. I think we will end. Dhanyavad. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Guru Dev, Srila Acharya Dev ki jai. Jai Giri Govardhana ki jai. Jai Go Premanandi, Hari 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 Bol, Jai, oh glory to all the devotees ki jai.
Jai Sripad Bhakti
Madhava Puri Maharaj ki.
Please be safe and well.
Sant Maharaj
Hare
ki jai.
Krishna.
Gaur Hari.